Hey guys, and today I'm back with a bang, or rather a splat. So today in Art Club with Miss Burford, we are going to make Onomatopoeia Pop Art Words. You will need some newspapers, an A4 sheet of white card, 2 A4 sheets of black paper, a selection of primary coloured pieces of paper or card, a pencil, some bubble wrap, some scissors, a glue stick, a paintbrush in quite a large size, and some paint in some primary colours. The first step is to lay your bubble wrap in front of your piece of white card so you can see what size you need your bubble wrap to be. You don't need to cut it to size, just lay it on top and then get your paintbrush. I'm using, I think it's 1/2 inch width or 1/4 inch, but I'm then just going to paint this yellow acrylic paint onto the bubble wrap. Not too thick, but it doesn't matter if you do have some areas which are thicker, that adds a little bit of extra texture. And just keep going until you cover the whole area of the piece of card that you can see underneath. You don't have to use yellow, this is just my personal choice. You could use red or blue as well, as long as it's primary colours. You could also add different shades of yellow if you wanted to show some shadowed areas on your bubble wrap, but I just stuck with one solid colour. Very gently flip the bubble wrap over so the paint is facing towards the card, and gently press over the bubble wrap so the paint transfers from the bubble wrap to the card. Peel it away and you should be left with a cool bubble wrap effect. Leave that to one side to dry. Whilst that is drying, we can move on to the next step of ripping up some newspaper articles. It doesn't matter if you leave some straight edges on there because we want to make it look like a comic strip speech bubble. So you could do that as in a normal speech bubble where it's quite rounded with the little point at the one end, or you could do it as a thinking bubble with the rounded edges, if that makes sense, like the scalloped edges. Or you could do like what I'm doing. I'm going to do a screaming speech bubble which has the spiky edges, and that's quite good because you can just use the scissors to create nice straight edges. However, of course, you can just cut the round edges as well, but I like the idea of using the newspaper to do a collage kind of background behind where the word is going to go. So you don't want to just cut it out of the article in that shape, you want to layer up different pieces of paper. Hopefully that makes sense. Stick your newspaper down as you go along and keep going until you're happy with the size of the speech bubble. When you've completed your speech bubble, you can then cut around it. So the idea is to leave a black border around the whole shape, which is approximately 2 or 3 millimeters wide. The lines don't have to be perfectly straight, but if the children need to, they can draw an outline with a pencil to give them a guide of where to cut. Now we can look at what colour you want your text to be. So because I used yellow for my background, I'm not going to do yellow text, that just won't work together. So I'm going to use either the red or the blue for my text. And in this case, I think I'm going to go with the red. So I'm going to have red text on a yellow background. I just lay my speech bubble onto the piece of paper so I could work out what size I wanted my text to be. Draw your letters onto the coloured paper using bubble writing. So you want to use onomatopoeia words, so words like bang, crash, splat. And obviously you guys know that I went for splat as you saw it at the beginning. I also added an exclamation mark for a bit of punctuation on the end of my word. And then you're going to cut this out. Lay your letters out onto the other black piece of paper, make sure you put them in order of spelling, and then you can start sticking them down, but weirdly start from the right rather than from the left, so that you can start overlapping your letters as you go. Cut around your letters and use your scissors and black paper to create a border again. Don't worry about cutting in the parts which are going to be too fiddly, like the centre of the A and the P. They can stay black, that's fine. Have a think about your composition of your word on the speech bubble. You might want to do it in a straight line like I am, or you might want to do it at an angle. When you're happy, glue it into place. This project is really good for combining English and art together, learning onomatopoeia words with pop art, and they work really well for creating an eye-catching display in the classroom. Finally, stick your speech bubble onto your printed background that you did earlier. It should be dry by now. And that's it. If you enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my art channel for more art lessons like this on a Monday and other art related videos every other Thursday. See you next week for more art with Miss Burford.